Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinesha Davis. This is Fun and Budget. Hold on one second. Okay. So in this video, we are going to go over our payday budget routine. Guys, I have wanted to make this video at a proper desk with my proper laptop. But every time I decide that today's the day I'm going to do it, I go home and it doesn't get done. So we have to do it here in the studio on the way home. Because I don't know if it's because my mind thinks when we're not at home, we're in work mode. And as soon as we get home, we're in relaxed mode. So we don't want to work once we get home. So that's what it is. So we're going to make it happen with the cell phone. That's what we're going to do. Now, guys, here's the thing. Payday is usually the easiest time to tend to your money goals, your financial duties, let's say, because it's an easy calendar day that is a great reminder that today we get to sit down and tend to our financial lives, okay? And so my payday routine looks a little something like this. I get paid typically twice a month, every other week, right? And so I do the same things when I get paid. So in this video, I want to talk you through what I do, and hopefully this can help you make sense of your payday routine as well. Or if there's something that you do that I don't mention in this video, please feel free to share, because you all know we are a community of sharers, we are a community of uplifters, and we are a community of keeping each other accountable and helping one another up level our financial lives, our financial goals, our financial dreams. Let's talk about it. Now, typically with my paychecks, usually the first paycheck that I get paid in a month is the paycheck that's going to go toward the bigger bills, my mortgage, the things that I usually do around the beginning of the month. If possible, I try to schedule all other bills later in the month, okay? Because normally our rent or our mortgage is our biggest financial burden. And so I like to kind of leave a whole paycheck that's dedicated to that. And then what's left over, I can do some other things with, which for me is usually paying on credit card debt, because I do live a credit card lifestyle. And all that means is that I pay anything that I can with my credit card. My bills, my groceries, my entertainment, usually all those things go on a credit card. But keep in mind, all the money is accounted for in my budget. So I don't just spend willy-nilly on a credit card. It's accounted for in my budget. It's just that I normally pay the things with the credit card. And then when I get paid on the beginning of the month or in the middle of the month, I then tend to paying off the credit card, okay? So let's talk about it. So the first thing I do when I get paid is I check my deposit account, my bank account that the paycheck is deposited into, and that is a good time then and there to go over what's happening in that account to make sure that everything looks legit and kosher, okay? And again, I just kind of look at it from the last time we got paid. And so we can kind of see some of the transactions that went down and some of the things that I paid on and some of the things that came into my account. And once we see that all is well there, I write down what is the current balance in the account, because that is the balance that we're going to be working from. I can't pay anything that I don't have, okay? So we need to know what's in that account so that as I go ahead and make payments and things like that, I can subtract it from that number, okay? So that we don't overdraft the account, y'all. Because we already know we do not try to pay late fees. We do not try to pay overdraft fees. We don't try to do any of those things. So that's what we do. While I'm also doing this, I then also pull up my Every Dollar app, because I do use the free version of Every Dollar to keep track of my budget, okay? So as I'm looking at this, like for instance, I got paid, so I can go on my Every Dollar app and then show that, boom, this money came in, and then from there I can also zero out some of the other things that came along with getting paid, such as my 401k contribution, my HSA contribution, things like that. Now next, because this is the second paycheck in the month, so the main things I'm going to look to pay will be my credit cards. I spend from 3 credit cards, so I start going through those transactions and making payments, okay? And so the first one we're going to pull up is our American Express. The only thing here I have to do is pay my house security bill. So that comes through on the American Express. I make that payment. That's $54. And then I then subtract that $54 from my balance that we had in my bank account. Next, we're going to move on to Bank of America. Now, I had already made an $829 payment to Bank of America. And from there, that paid $219 was for the electricity bill. $598 went for the Wiz tickets because we are going to go to Broadway and we're going to see the Wiz. It was part of a dream that I wanted to do. Y'all, listen. Y'all can't take my dreams too seriously. I come up with a new dream every other week. So the dream of the week was going to Broadway to see the Wiz because it coincided with something else we had to do in New York. So it just made perfect sense. The timing was perfect. And $598 payment was made on that, okay? And I'm going with my girlfriends. Next, $12 for Paramount Plus because I'm addicted to watching Survivor and The Amazing Race and Big Brother and such. And so I have to have Paramount Plus for that because we don't have cable in the house. And then outside of that, we also have a $71 gas bill payment that came through, and so we're going to make that payment as well, and we're going to make sure that we debit that from what was in our checking accounts. So now that that's all caught up, we are then going to go to our City Prestige card, and we are going to see what we are going to make payments on here. And here we have $49.71, and this is for a Peruvian restaurant. $12.08 for good old Starbucks. $2.99 for Google Games, because y'all, I be addicted to playing Monopoly Go as well. And then $6.31, another Starbucks purchase. $5.49 for a McDonald's purchase. And then $304.45 for Ali Sadiq, because he is my favorite comedian of the moment. He is my favorite comedian. And so he is going to be back in Virginia in November. I believe it's in November. And so I got 2 tickets for us to go see him, and I'm excited about that. And then $129.26 for Factor meals. And then $8.47 for Domino's Pizza. And this brings us for a total of $519 that we are going to pay on the city card. And we will subtract that from our checking balance to make sure we are still on track. So now that all my credit cards are caught up, the next thing I do is I balance my numbers. We already did that. We balanced the numbers from our checking account because, again, we can't pay what we don't have, okay? So we are good. We still have plenty of money left over. So what I then do is I then go and look at the bills that are not associated with a credit card. And that will be things that I pay out on Cash App. What else? Yeah, and then also this is also a good time for me to go in and pay my utility bills out of habit, because now that we're in here, I can go and see, do I have any other utility bills that are due? But we already paid our electricity bills. We already paid our gas bill. We already paid, I think that's all that we go in and manually pay. Also for me, because this is like my second paycheck of the month, but is not the end of the month, I do not confuse this with the end of the month transactions. So basically, what that means is I do not make any more transfers. Like, I'm not going to transfer any money to my brokerage accounts. I'm not going to transfer any money to my Marcus High Yield Savings account. I'm not going to do any more major transfers because there's still some month left. There's still 9 more days left to this month, and anything can happen within 9 days. So I don't want to take for granted that, oh, okay, we're at the end of the month. We're free and clear. Let's make some more money moves. And then something else pops up, and then I have to scramble. So I do my end of the month moves truly at the very end of the month. Okay. So again, with this paycheck routine, it is pretty much for paying the bills that are coming through, the bills that are already in my budget, and making sure that I make payments on my credit cards, because living a credit card lifestyle, another goal of that is to not pay interest. And the way that I don't pay interest on my credit cards is I just make sure that I'm constantly, continually making payments. And that is usually on paydays. Now, I say usually because I can make payments in between paydays. The key is just to make sure that I have the money in my checking account, okay? But again, paydays are a great reminder just to go in there and handle your financial business. So again, this is not closing out my month, but it is telling me where I stand. Currently, with 9 more days left in the month, I have $514 that's not accounted for, meaning I still have $514 to spend. But if ever I find that I'm running a little like, ooh, tight, this would be my benchmark. This will be the indicator for me to either slow down on spending, maybe to do a challenge that I call Eat the Pantry, where I make a concerted effort not to eat out anymore, not to go through any drive-thrus, not to go to any restaurants, not to go to any grocery stores, and to pretty much make meals out of what I already have in the refrigerator and in the pantry, and to just get creative with my spending. If I have 514, this may also be another time to set another goal, where you might say, well, you know what, I have $514, but if I did a challenge like a no spend or Eat the Pantry, then maybe I can redirect that money, some of that money, to my longer term goals, such as paying off debt, for me, paying off my home, or beefing up a savings account or a travel fund or something to that effect, okay? Or you might be on a journey like me where I'm actually giving myself more permission to spend. So I might say, oh, 514, maybe, hey, I can go get a massage. Or maybe there's something in a store that I've been eyeing but been kind of holding off on. Maybe this is that permission right then and here to go ahead and do that. So again, my paycheck routines are a great time to just stop and take stock of where I stand at that particular point in the month. And basically that's what I do, and that's what happens. So we see that all of our credit cards are attended to, our major bills are attended to, and we see exactly where we stand. And that is it, y'all. That is my paycheck routine. Drop down in the comments if this was helpful for you, or if there's something else you would rather see that you think would be a little more helpful for you, okay? Until the next video, y'all, thank you all so much for being here, and I'm going to continue my drive home from work, where I get to sit in front of the TV, eat popcorn, and watch season 22 of Survivor. All right, y'all. Peace.